Right now at noon, a new email is firing up debate over President Trump's impeachment. We'll explain. And there's a lot riding on tonight's game between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. We'll break down what's on the line.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
And we begin with breaking news. Dane County District Attorney says no officers will be charged in a fatal shooting that happened on Madison's west side back in October. Police were called to a home on Raymond Road on October 27th. Police say 64-year-old Dean Thomas was armed and shooting at officers when they arrived. Officers say they gave Thomas commands to drop his weapon, and when he did not comply, one of the responding officers shot him. Thomas died from his injuries within the last 50 minutes. Dane County's District Attorney Ismail Ozan released a statement saying those officers were, quote, responding to the threat with deadly force is permitted under the law. Unseasonably warm weather to start this holiday week. Let's head over to the Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our first alert weather. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Mark. Well, we had, a snowy Halloween, so I guess we have to have a mild Christmas with no snow. In fact, as we take a look at the live view from the Queen Bee Radio Skycam in Platteville, you can see bright sunshine over southwestern Wisconsin. The WISC Skycam looking off toward the east shows just some high clouds overhead. Otherwise, temperatures have started to warm up. We're at 44 already in Madison. To the north, though, temperatures are closer to the lower 40s. There is slightly cooler air that's trying to work its way in from the north. It's not going to have much success, but look for a high temperature of 47 this afternoon with variably cloudy skies. Looks like we'll be in the upper 40s for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and it will be a green Christmas this year. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
No white Christmas. That's guaranteed at this point. All right, Gary, we'll check back in a few minutes. Thank you.
Sure.
Madison police are investigating an armed robbery that happened at a McDonald's last night. The robbery happened at the McDonald's at 4687 Verona Road just before 9 o'clock. Police say a customer was beaten with a handgun and had his backpack stolen. The suspects got away with the backpack. Officials say the 17-year-old man who was beaten was later treated at a hospital for his injuries. 2 vehicles were stolen from a home in Madison early this morning. Officers say the vehicles were stolen at Paso Roble Way around 1:30. Police say they believe the car in the driveway was left unlocked because the owner planned to move it. Police say thieves got into the car, opened the garage door, then entered the home and took keys for both cars. Officials say one of the vehicles was found through a vehicle location device at South High Point Road. Police are still searching for the second vehicle. A newly released email is adding fuel to the fight over whether witnesses should be called in a Senate impeachment trial. Skylar Henry is at the White House with more.
Less than 2 hours after President Trump finished a phone call where he asked Ukraine's president to investigate Joe Biden, White House official Michael Duffy sent this email directing the Defense Department to hold off on military aid to Ukraine, and that given the sensitive nature of the request, to keep the information closely held.
This email is explosive.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer sent a letter to his colleagues this morning saying the email is evidence that the White House needs to release more documents and witnesses related to the impeachment case.
A top administration official, one that we requested, is saying, stop the aid 91 minutes after Trump called Zelensky and said, keep it hush-hush. What more do you need?
A White House official tells CBS News the email was one of several related to Ukraine aid and that the hold was in place before the July 25th phone call. The White House is pushing for its own witnesses at the Senate trial.
When it gets over to the Senate, there will be actual evidence introduced and actual witnesses that will show even more that this president did nothing wrong.
But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he's not sure if witnesses are needed.
What we need to do is to listen to the arguments, have a written questioning period, and then decide whether we need witnesses or not.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she won't send the articles of impeachment to the Senate until the ground rules for the trial are established. President Trump slammed Pelosi on Twitter, accusing the Speaker of crying about fairness in the Senate and saying she will lose Congress in the next election. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
And Leader McConnell says he does not expect Pelosi will send the articles of impeachment to the Senate until after the holidays. Well, Boeing CEO Dennis Muhlenberg has stepped down. This comes after the company faced a series of setbacks, including 2 fatal crashes, delays, and numerous issues with its 737 MAX airplane. Boeing continues to struggle to get its most important product back in the air. Chairman David Calhoun will take over as CEO effective January 13th of next year. A record number of more than 115 million Americans expected to travel this holiday season by plane, train, or automobile. Inclement weather is being blamed for a nearly 70-car pileup near Williamsburg, Virginia yesterday. No deaths were reported, but more than 50 people were injured. In California, another car crash caused an internet outage that contributed to more than 140 flight delays at Sacramento International Airport.
Point is, just be prepared, be a bit patient, because there's a lot, when you show up at an airport during this time of year, there's a lot of traffic and then just a lot more people.
According to estimates from the AAA, more than 104 million holiday travelers will drive to their destinations, and the day after Christmas will bring the worst delays, with commutes nearly 2 times longer than usual. Well, a big game for the Green Bay Packers tonight as they head to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. A lot rides on tonight's game. If the Packers win, they clinch the NFC North. If the Packers beat the Vikings and the Lions next week, they'll have a first-round bye in the playoffs. Right now, Green Bay and Minnesota have both clinched playoff berths. Kickoff scheduled for 7:15 tonight. You can watch it on ESPN. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
What's the real story behind wedding soup? It's not what you think. Join us and get the inside scoop. Today, I want to set the record straight on Italian wedding soup. It has nothing to do with the wedding. Shocking, I know. It's actually called wedding soup because of how well the flavors come together. Between the little meatballs, Italian greens, and the rich broth, it's the perfect marriage of flavors and textures. And since this classic dish is so popular during the holidays, we figured it was the ideal time to share our updated version that's made in a slow cooker. We begin by combining chicken broth with a package of frozen cocktail meatballs. This is a whole lot easier than making them from scratch. Now we cover our slow cooker and we set it to low so the meatballs can simmer in the broth. After a bit, we stir in some beaten eggs. You'll notice that the eggs create thin strands of yummy goodness. Next, we stir in some hearty Italian greens like escarole and a good amount of grated Parmesan cheese. See, I told you it was easy. The longer you let it simmer, the richer the flavor becomes. Serve bowls of this warm-me-up soup for the holidays or all winter long. Either way, you can't miss. To get the recipe for what we call Mama Marie's wedding soup, all you need to do is check it out online. I'm Howard of the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a blissfully cozy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a warm December week is in the forecast. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has more coming up in your First Alert forecast.
For a forecast that keeps your family safe, watch First Alert Weather.
Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials up 108 points. The NASDAQ up 26, and the S&P 500 is up almost 4 points. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn this week, so here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti with our holiday week forecast.
Boy, it is going to be a mild one. You know, if you look at the Christmas statistics, let me go back here. This is what we normally should see for Christmas. Normal high temperature, 28 degrees, low of 13. We've been as warm as 56 degrees back in 1982. I don't think we're going to get quite that warm, but we're still going to be looking at temperatures at about 20 degrees above that average high temperature of 28 degrees. And as we take a look at three things you need to know, it'll be very mild, not only through Christmas, but through Thursday as well. Mainly dry weather through tomorrow, and then a little bit of drizzle possible on Christmas Day afternoon into Thursday morning. But as we take a look at the live view from the Edgewater Skycam in downtown Madison, it is just a great day. If you're not worried about a white Christmas and you're doing that last minute shopping, perfect day for it. Temperature right now, 44 degrees. Winds, though, have shifted to the west-northwest at 6 miles per hour. So I think that will probably slow our temperature fall. Yesterday, we missed a record high temperature by 1 degree at 53. Today, I think we'll probably make the upper 40s, still well above normal. As you look at current temperatures, you can see the northern part of the state seeing temperatures mainly in the 30s. Here in Madison, we're at 44 degrees. Some of that slightly cooler air may drift southward a little bit later on this afternoon, but it really won't get here in full force because that front will actually work back northward as a warm front as we head into the next couple of days. You can see on Weather Track the upper level winds basically from west to east here, but a strong southwesterly flow basically from the southwestern part of the country all the way through the Midwest. Now, the areas, if you're doing some traveling over the next couple of days, southwestern part of the country, we've got rain and mountain snows into central and southern California, and then mountain snows up into Nevada and Idaho. And the southeastern part of the country, very wet. The Carolinas getting a lot of rain and wind, showers and some thunderstorms moving out of Florida, but another little batch ready to move on shore there. The rest of the country, very quiet as we head into the Christmas holiday. Here's that front I was talking about, drifting just to the south of us, a little bit of a wind shift here. South of the front, winds mainly out of the south and southwest. North of the front, they start shifting to a little more of a northeasterly direction. So that accounts for the difference in temperatures between 30s and mid 40s here to temperatures that are in the 50s to our south. And as we check out future track, you can watch this as this front basically starts heading back northward. Notice the wind shift back to the southeast later on tonight. And by tomorrow, Christmas Eve, those winds out of the south. We'll probably see cloudy skies for most of the day, and that will be the case into Christmas Day, Wednesday. But notice the southerly wind flow continuing, and that will keep our temperatures well above normal. Probably looking at high temperatures in the upper 40s for tomorrow, Christmas Day, and for Thursday as well. Out of the 3 days, Thursday would be the best chances of getting close to a record high temperature. The record for Thursday is 50, set back in 1936. So that's something to watch. Our forecast for this afternoon, look for variably cloudy skies, very mild, high temperature topping out at 47 degrees. For tonight, mostly cloudy, might be a little bit of patchy fog, low temperature dropping to 32. For tomorrow, look for a very nice Christmas Eve day, mostly cloudy skies, very mild, high of 47. Santa might actually put Rudolph to use tomorrow night because there is some patchy fog in the forecast for tomorrow night. But for Christmas Day itself, look for mostly cloudy skies, maybe a little bit of drizzle in the afternoon, high temperature topping out at 48 degrees. As we look at future track, again, that wind shift back to the east and southeast with time, those temperatures dropping to the lower 30s by tomorrow morning, and then high temperatures tomorrow in the upper 40s. And as we check out that 7 to 10 day forecast, look for those temperatures to stay unseasonably mild through Thursday. Then we'll see a bit of a drop in temperatures toward the end of the week. Might be some rain or snow chances over the weekend. One computer model stays dry, the other says, chances some rain and snow. So keep an eye on that. And then another chance for some rain or snow as we head toward the New Year's holiday. But again, that's an iffy type of proposition. Temperatures will be a little more seasonal, but still above normal all the way into the start of the new year.
So the good news, no travel problems.
It doesn't look like it at this point.
All right, thank you, Gary.
You're welcome.
And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, Linda Barch from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. The number to call, 270-9933. We'll be right back.
News 3.
Taking your calls at 270-9933. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Mark.
Christmas is here.
Yeah, well, pretty soon.
Pretty soon.
Yes, I know. There's no snow, so it's a little bit harder, but we are seeing that lots and lots of people are putting up lights because the weather stays good, and they just keep adding to their light display.
Pretty plant here.
This calancho is a really good ornamental plant because it flowers for such a long time. It's difficult to get it to come into rebloom unless you have a south window, but my daughter, she gets it to rebloom because she's got southern window, and she just takes good care of plants. I wanted to mention this one with the red berries next to it. It's a really cool little house plant. There it is it's called coralberry, and these flowers, the berries have been on for already a month.
Really?
And it says they stay on for a long time, and it will actually come into rebloom and develop fruit again. So it's a pretty useful plant. It's not around that often, but we have a few of them available.
Very festive. All right, let's go to the calls. We'll start with Terry in Monona. Hi, Terry. What's your question?
Hi, this is silly, but I have a potted plant. It's got forget-me-nots in it, and it's in the windowsill. The flowers did die out. I really don't want to throw that soil away. It's really not. It's still moist. Can I still use it, or is it best to get rid of it? Will it affect any other plants or flowers if I planted it?
Yeah, when you're trying to reuse soil, it depends upon how long something's been growing in it. And if it's completely filled with roots, then it's depleted. What also can happen is, like you said, that the plant in it has now, well, maybe it's just stopped flowering, but if they die for some reason, you definitely do not want to reuse that soil because there could be fungus spores in it. It's probably just a little bit safer to get rid of that. And if that pot is, again, had a plant that has died, make sure you sterilize that. Use something like bleach or something to wash it in.
Okay, let's go to Jane in Madison. Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Hi, what's your question?
I had a Christmas cactus about a month ago, and I understood it's supposed to get flowers on by Christmas, and it doesn't.
Well,
is there anything I can do about that?
The plants that you see at garden centers are actually Thanksgiving cactus because they have little points on the edges, and those are grown in a greenhouse, and the lighting is controlled, so they bloom at a certain time of the year. The Christmas or Thanksgiving cactus that you have in your home, it's going to flower when it wants to. Mine rarely for Christmas. It's usually a little bit later. There's buds on it, and it'll flower later. So just enjoy them when they flower.
Patience. All right, let's go to Lavone. Is it Lavone in Bagley?
Hi, it's Levon in Bagley.
Levon, go ahead. What's your question?
I have a large Boston fern that I put outside in the summer. I have it inside now, and I've just noticed the last few days lots of the fronds underneath are dying. I have this big mess on the floor.
Yeah, when people want to bring ferns in during that they've had outside during the summer, they're going to go through this period where everything that's shaded, severely shaded, it's going to brown up and drop and create a huge mess. So if you're really attached to it, spend a few hours pruning those all off, then the upper ones will still continue to grow. But if you're not real attached to it, you may just want to start over next season. Yeah.
All right, let's go to Barbara in Lodi. Hi, Barbara. What's your question?
Hi, I have a beautiful red poinsettia plant I got from my neighbor, but there's no instructions how to water it, what to do. Where do I go from here?
Okay, it likes to be where it has bright indirect light. You don't want it sitting in a real sunny window because that's too much sun. Just pull it in from the house if you have a south window. If you have like an east window, then it can be closer to the window. Keep it evenly moist. You don't want it to dry out because otherwise you're going to have a lot of lower leaves dropping. So you want to water it thoroughly, and if it's in about this size pot, you're probably going to be watering that, well, depending on how warm you keep your home, at least once a week, maybe twice.
Don't let it dry out.
Don't let it get real dry.
All right, let's go to Tina in Madison. Hi, Tina.
Hi.
Hi, what's your question?
I have a geranium in my basement that I have stored for the winter, and I see it starting to bloom, and wondering if I should be watering it throughout the winter.
Okay, in this geranium, you leave it in the soil. You don't want to hang it up to dry, or some people do all kinds of crazy things with their geraniums. If it's in soil, I would, and you're starting to have a flower on it, I would bring it up to where it gets more light and water it.
All right. We are out of time. If you're on the line, stay on there. Linda will talk to you off the air. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
We'll see you next year.
All right.
Here's Gary with one final check of your forecast.
Well, it's a nice sunny afternoon. Temperatures are on the mild side. There's the view from the Platteville-Quimby Radio Skycam. And as we check out the WISC Skycam, the temperatures right now are actually pretty nice. They're in the mid-40s, 44 right now in Madison. And look for temperatures to be in the upper 40s right through the Christmas holiday. A little cooler for the end of the week.
All right, Gary, thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you back here at 4 o'clock. In the meantime, have a great afternoon.